So coming from CNBC, SpaceX signs computing power deal with open source AI startup Reflection worth up to $6.3 billion. I'm getting confused. Aspie is getting confused. What's going on? What's Oh lordy, what is going on with xAI and SpaceX? I don't understand, right? So SpaceX IPO'd about a week and a half ago, came out at $1.77 trillion, popped all the way to almost $3 trillion. Now it's down, it's like at $150 a share as of aftermarket trading last night. But anyways, the big thing with SpaceX is the idea of xAI is the company that's going to deliver $28 trillion of total addressable market, right? That's the concept, right? They're going to come up with this AI, and so that is why SpaceX is worth 2 or 3 or however many trillion dollars. The weird part is, though, what you see SpaceX actually doing looks a lot more like just a generic old school company. Can you imagine GoDaddy trying to pretend like they're a $1 trillion company? GoDaddy being like, look at all the GPUs we purchased. Obviously, we're a $1 trillion company, right? That would be dumb. That would be stupid on the face of it. But if GoDaddy says that, that's dumb. But if SpaceX says it, well, it's Elon Musk. And so apparently you never bet against Elon Musk. And so the weird thing going on here with SpaceX and xAI and their Colossus data centers is apparently they just have a lot of GPUs that they're not using. And when I say a lot of GPUs that they're not using, I'm not talking about a couple hundred. I'm not talking about a couple thousand. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of GPUs that are apparently just available for somebody else to rent, which is really weird. I always bring this thing up with David Sachs with the All In podcast. And one of the reasons he said that AI isn't a bubble like the dot-com bubble is because of dark fiber. So back during the dot-com bubble, basically people laid fiber optic lines planning to sell it in the future, but it wasn't initially lit up because at that moment in time, people didn't need the fiber. The problem is, a whole bunch of investment into all this fiber being laid. At the time, we didn't actually need all that fiber. Then we had the dot-com bust. And so essentially what happened is you had all of this perfectly good fiber that had been run all over the world that had simply never been connected to anything, right? That is one of the reasons why companies like Facebook and Twitter and a lot of those companies were able to become successful so quickly, is because there was all of this network capacity that had been paid for in the previous bubble. They were able to access it or pay for it for pennies on the dollar for what it cost to actually initially deploy. And that's one of the things that made that generation of technology companies successful. It's one of the things that David Sachs said, again, on the All In podcast. He's like, well, see, there's no dark GPUs. And he says it very seriously. And this is what I don't understand, because these tech bros say stupid crap very seriously. And you're like, but Satya Nadella literally in December said he has GPUs he can't power on because there's not electricity for his data centers. There are no dark GPUs other than if you ignore all the dark GPUs out there, right? And that's the interesting thing, like with SpaceX, right? So SpaceX, xAI, just IPO'd $1.77 trillion, spiking, all of this stuff, right? AI. And then now it's like 220,000 GPUs are being rented to Anthropic. So that started like last month or something like that. Then after that, Google then rents like 110,000 GPUs. We're talking about 330,000 GPUs. When we talk about these GPUs are $40,000 a piece. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of them. They're like, oh, you need some GPUs? Yeah, we got some GPUs. And then you're like, okay, look, Anthropic, whatever, Google, whatever. But now what you're starting to see is they're starting to lease more and more and more of these GPUs out to these other companies. And at a certain point, When does SpaceX go from being the company for the future with a $28 trillion total addressable market to a GPU hosting provider essentially, which seems to be the route that they're on. And this is just like, I don't know, man. I'm going so fucking aspy. 2026 is really hard for an aspy because none of this shit makes sense. Oh, lordy. SpaceX has signed a major computing power agreement with Reflection AI, making the open source AI startup the latest outside company to tap Elon Musk's Colossus infrastructure. Yes, so this is the latest one to tap the Colossus infrastructure. At the rate we're going, probably not the last. And this is what's weird too. Under the agreement, Reflection will get immediate access to NVIDIA GP300's top-of-the-line AI chips used to train and run advanced models, and has agreed to pay SpaceX $150 million per month beginning July 1st, 2026 through 2029. The payment would total about $6.3 billion if the agreement runs through the end of the term. Either company can end the contract with 90 days notice after the first 3 months. This is one of the weird things with all these contracts. Again, this whole thing with being able to end it within 90 days. The deal shows how SpaceX is using its massive data center build out after its record IPO. The company built Colossus in part to power Grok, Musk's AI chatbot and rival to ChatGPT. Now SpaceX is also using that infrastructure to sell computing power capacity to outside companies. And to think about this too, like when we're talking about the Google for AI specifically, we talk about Anthropic for AI, and now we talk about Reflection. These are competitors to Grok. They're literally renting what is supposed to be extremely limited hardware capacity directly to their competitors, right? What have we heard? What have we heard all through 2026, right? AI is compute constrained. Tech bros won't shut up about compute constraint. And it seems like xAI, no, they have a lot of compute. I do not believe xAI is compute constrained. And that's where all of this gets really, really, really just weird. SpaceX has already started competing power-related deals with Anthropic, Google, and Cursor. They did just buy Cursor. Reflection adds another customer to that roster, and a strategically different one, an AI lab focused on open source models at a moment when governments and enterprises are reassessing dependence on closed AI systems. For SpaceX, the deal is another sign that compute itself has become strategic currency in the AI race. Yes, I mean, this is true. Compute has become currency in the AI race. But again, is it that valuable? Is it currency worth $3 trillion? As I've said many times, my issue is not with AI, it's not with the technologies, it's with these massive valuations. And so basically, xAI is supposed to be worth all of this money because they're renting out data centers in 2026. Is that exciting? You're like, oh yeah, this is. I mean, who else can rent out data centers? I mean, it's not like anybody can just rent out a data center. As I listen to this All In podcast to get my heart pumping when I do exercise. And was it Charmuth? Anyways, I mean, he was talking about he bought like a few thousand acres of land and then got all the permits for building a data center. And then literally he's sitting there on the podcast like, yeah, well, we're trying to figure out what to do now because like the original data center we're going to try to build, that doesn't really seem like that makes sense. So we're trying to get investors to maybe try to do this other data center. You know, like when podcast bros are literally trying to build AI data centers, I'm just not sure what your mode is. It's like, anyways. Let's see here. Access to advanced NVIDIA chips remains one of the biggest constraints for companies trying to train and serve frontier models. By opening Colossus to outside customers, the company is positioning itself alongside cloud providers and AI infrastructure companies that are racing to sell scarce graphics processing unit capacity. Yep, there we go. Who is SpaceX's primary competition? GoDaddy. GoDaddy. It also gives SpaceX another way to justify its growing AI infrastructure narrative. No, it fucking doesn't. No, it's a bit destroying its justification for the growing AI infrastructure narrative. So yeah, this is just the weirdness that's going on right now. I talk about this. There's this stuff that people say, right? Anybody can say anything. Anybody can just get up and say some really stupid crap. The important thing is what people are doing. And so what do we hear? What do we hear? We hear that the entire industry, the AI industry, is compute constrained. There's not enough hardware resources, right? We hear that there's no dark GPUs. We hear that we have to build these data centers. Basically, we have to run roughshod over the citizenry of this country because we have to build enough AI infrastructure to keep up with the demand. And then when you actually look at it, it's like, yeah, but most of that demand is free demand. As I've said, OpenAI, it does appear that 90% of OpenAI's users are free users. I was talking about this with Isaac yesterday. So Isaac, I do this weird interview thing with Irish Times, but it's not the Irish Times, it's a tech report. I don't know what I get confused with other people's business models. Anyways, one of the things I was talking with him about is like I barely even use artificial intelligence at this point in time. Like we're talking about AI, and even now in 2026, look, I use it for coding issues. I use it for some relatively small things. But even as a technology professional, even as somebody that's got all kinds of, this is like the shit that's literally fucking sitting like AI is just not that useful. So like we're told, oh my God, we have to go warp speed for AI build-outs. We have to put AI data centers into space because the demand is so high. And you're like 90% of the users are free, and there's a hell of a lot of questions about what anybody will actually pay for. Google is probably getting the most market penetration, and that's because they're shoving it down people's throats, right? I do actually use AI, but 90% of the AI that I use is what Google is shoving down my throat. I type in my normal little query, I would prefer to get a website, and instead I get their AI overview, and frankly, that gives me the information, so I just go with it. But I'm not even looking for the AI, right? We're told there's no dark GPUs, except there's all of these GPUs out there. Right? You have SpaceX. There's a $28 trillion addressable market for competing with GoDaddy. You're just like, what? There's the garbage the tech bros say, and then there's the brutal fucking reality that's in front of everybody's faces. And that is what's making me a wee bit frustrated right now. Right? Anyways, what do you think? What do you think about SpaceX? Who do you think will win? SpaceX versus fucking GoDaddy? Who do you think's gonna win? Oh my God. I shit you not. Like you think about SpaceX and you think about space launch. Well, they own 90% of space launch, capacity in the United States. It's like, yeah, but their revenue for space launch is like less than OnlyFans revenue. Their space launch revenue is less than OnlyFans, and apparently xAI is now competing with GoDaddy. And apparently this is worth like trillions of dollars. Because of course it is. Oh. Anyways. What do you think? What do you think? Will SpaceX be able to nudge GoDaddy out of their hosting position? Can you imagine that? I would almost put a $5 bet within the next 3 months. You start seeing things from xAI. Host your free website on xAI. If we get that in 3 months, I want my $5 from all you people. I'll put $5 on the table for that particular bet. Anyways. What do you think about this farce? What do you think about this? Put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. Also, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. And with that, remember, get your popcorn. Get your popcorn and get your toilet paper before our society implodes. Because I'm telling you right now, right? It's gonna be a disaster when it's all over, but it's going to be so entertaining to watch our civilization burn to the ground. I think about that. So I'm in Asheville. We had Helene. So I'm in Western North Carolina. I'm literally in the mountains. We're like 6 hours away from the ocean. We got hit by a hurricane a couple years ago, 2 years ago. And I remember like being on the bridge. There's this bridge. Anyway, Haywood. It's called Haywood. Anyways, there's this bridge that goes over the river area. And it was so fascinating. We all came together. Just so many people were on this bridge looking down at the river just destroying our city. And we came together and gawk and be amazed at the complete disaster that was unfolding in front of our eyes. And I gotta say, you know, it really sucked. We still have problems. Like the consequences of that disaster, really, really, really bad. But it was a hell of a way to spend an afternoon. I have to say, like the community, the camaraderie, the wonder the children had as they saw buildings get fucking demolished. Like there's nothing like that look in a child's eyes as they go, how buildings falling over. You're like, yes it is, boy, yes it is. I kind of feel like that's what's going to be happening to the United States. So find yourself a really tall bridge. Get your popcorn. Maybe get some light beer. MGD 64. Because here's the thing: it's got to take a little while for everything to blow up. So a real nice low alcohol beer, so you can just sip on that for a while. That might be the place to ride out this disaster until the next phase starts up in the Mad Max saga. I don't know. See y'all later.